Hi friends and fellow earth angels, it's Gladys and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will cover March 1st to the 7th, 2020, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these readings be timeless. So welcome friends. We are in the last full week of Mercury retrograde. We are in the first full week of March. A lot of us are feeling that spring, new energy coming in. One of the things that I keep getting that I want to share with you for this week is to remind yourself to stay grounded. So root chakra exercises, getting out in nature, getting some walks in, some fresh air. I don't know what the week's going to be like, but if you can get some sunshine on your skin for a couple of minutes, I feel like this week is going to be a week that you're going to need to stay in the present moment. I see the energy of like overwhelm, busy. And again, it's not to instill fear by any means. It's things are going to come up. It's going to be like a final squeeze or final push of things that need to take action. Sometimes for some of you, there might be forced action. What I've been seeing too is maybe like the Tower card in the Tarot. And now I always say that I feel like the Tower card, even though it can be uncomfortable, it could also be liberating too, because it kind of forces things that have been delayed or procrastinated on to happen. And so I feel like there's like a squeeze this week for some of you. Of course, it's a general reading, so it's a different vibration for everybody. So that's why I feel like I want to remind you to stay grounded this week. The power of deep breaths is incredible. Reminding yourself on a moment-to-moment basis that you've got your own back, that God has a plan. For some of you, maybe you need to hear rejection is God's protection, and stay the course. You know, you have an energy, you have a course that you're on, and an idea of where you're going. Maybe it's a feeling of freedom, maybe it's a feeling of liberation, maybe it's a health thing, maybe it's a financial thing. So we're in that final squeeze of that pullback. So some of you, this may feel like the tension. You might feel, like I said, the overwhelm or the squeeze. So for this week, I chose all angel energy. Right before I started this recording, I heard the phrase calling on angels, and there's a song by Train, calling on angels. Some of you may need to go listen to that. Remember to call on your angels this week, and we'll just see what messages they have. So I will start by using the Archangel Oracle card deck. I'll get an additional message from the Oracle of Angels, a healing message from Healing with the Angels. Some energy, I wanted to bring in some energy of grounding. So crystals are very grounding. So I pulled out the crystal angels, and then an overall angel prayer for you this week. So I have the color red here for grounding. It's the representation of the root chakra. You can imagine roots growing from your feet down into the core of Mother Earth, where they ground and they stabilize you. You can grab some hematite. This is a really great stone to have. As you see, I have quite a few pieces. As this week can invoke us feeling uplifted and overwhelmed. But like I said, it's coming up so that you can take action and maybe change some patterns and old ways of doing things. All right, before I say any more, let's get into the cards. Let me open space by inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right. What angel wants to come forth to support you this week? All right. So we have Angel Raphael, of course, angel therapy. His message says, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. Perfect. It goes along with the message that I was channeling earlier. Angel therapy. So Angel Raphael is the angel of healing. He is the angel of miracles. He is the angel that helps us with relationship conflict, finances, and addictions, and also our health, our physical health. So it's so suiting that he's come out, because he's going to cover all areas that you might be challenged, or all areas that the Earth Angel Collective could be challenged with this week. As I said, I think there's going to be this feeling of overwhelm or being really busy, and things are going to happen. It's almost like, that saying, when it rains, it pours, or everything seems to happen at once, and so just stay present, take your time moving through the day and the week. I think it's going to be reinforcement that God has your back, the angels have your back. Now, and I have to say, this by no means is doom and gloom. It's not a premonition for bad things happening. It's the energy and the way we're aligned. So we're right now in Mercury retrograde, which is in Pisces. Obviously, the sun sign is in Pisces. Pisces is water energy. It's about emotions. So some of you may have an emotional week this week, but it's getting to the root of that, being able to feel all your feelings without judgment, blame, expectations, moving out of victimhood. Those of you who may be challenged with anxiety, know that the energies of the planet are really intense right now, and there's a lot going on in the world. So for those sensitive beings, the empathic people, the highly sensitive, intuitive people, you may feel heightened anxiety. So remind yourself that you're, in flow with the planet. Take some extra deep breaths, pull back, ground your energy. It's a really great way to support yourself. Personally, I've been feeling anxious and overwhelmed. There's a lot happening, and it's just giving me an opportunity to move through things in a different way, to really stay present with me and how I'm feeling, so that I can make the best decisions going forward. So it's not a good or bad thing. It's not a right or wrong thing. It just is. So Raphael, his color is emerald green. And his sign that I see him present is Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a jolly energy, a joyful energy, and Raphael embodies that energy. So if you think about Santa, who goes into the hospital to bring presents to children who are sick in the hospital, he brings them joy while they're going through healing. So if you see the signs ho 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 this week, if you see Santa Clauses pop up, you see, maybe you see, I have even seen a car that says Claus on it with a guy who looks like Santa driving it. So there's so many ways that aspect can come in. What else? Dorothy's red slippers, the Wizard of Oz reminds me of Raphael. For the Emerald City, emerald green, the Jolly Green Giant. So if a can of corn or a pack of peas rolls out at you, or you're shopping in the supermarket and you catch the Jolly Green Giant in your eye, the corner of your eye, that's a sign that Raphael is with you. Maybe after this reading, you invite in the Archangel Raphael. Maybe wearing emerald green this week can remind you that you're going through a healing process, and healing takes time, right? It's divine timing. We can't rush through things and force recovery. We have to surrender into the process of healing. And many of you have been spit out of 2018-19, and here we are in 2020, like reintegrating in these new energies. So have patience with yourself this week. Again, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. So, additional message from the Oracle of Angels. Raphael, what additional message do you have for the collective this week? Oh, I feel so much warmth in this energy, so much gentleness. It's almost like a heavenly hug. Maybe some of you need that this week. Raphael, what additional message do you have? March 1st to the 7th, 2020. Inner peace. So I feel like all the changes that are happening, all the work, quote unquote work, inside and out that you've been doing, all the action you've been taking, all the feelings and the emotions that are coming up is for you to get to inner peace. And we have the number 26 here. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 8 is a very abundant number. It's for me, it reminds me of like prosperity. It reminds me of the never-ending cycle of beginnings and endings with the divine in the human experience. It also could be representative because 8 is like like 0 is like a never-ending energy. Like it just kind of keeps going. So I feel like for some of you, you may see the repeated patterns, situations, and experiences that have been happening over and over again. And this may be the week to break those cycles, you know. So if things happen and you naturally go to fear, or you naturally go to overwhelm or anxiety, this week it may come up and give you an opportunity to handle, manage it, or be present with it, breathe through it. Like I said, just getting some fresh air, sitting with some crystals and some stones can bring you back to the inner self or inner peace. And so some of you are if you're in that place of like, well, what is the point of all this? Why does this keep happening? This is what you're moving towards. On some level, the chaos, disruption, disorder, disarray, illusion of the 3D world is becoming, you're outgrowing it. And so you're moving into this inner peace. So you're learning new ways to navigate the human experience. If, you're still being reactionary, if you're still being triggered, activated, and spiraled into hate and anger and fear and worry, it's very human, a very human experience. So these challenges that you might have this week are asking you to kind of up level, to see them, experience them, and instead of reacting to them, how do you act towards them, right? How can you pull back? So maybe somebody does something that wants to suck you in, right? Or maybe somebody is unknowingly pulling you into drama or gossip. Or maybe you're on the road and somebody's impatient and they're tailgating you. A reaction might be, I don't know, step on the brake, or slow down, or feel overwhelmed, or get angry. And so maybe you could gently just kind of move out of the way for the person. Maybe you can find another way to navigate. Now, that's just one experience of the many experiences that could come up. But asking yourself, wow, here this is again. And it's going to require a level of you being present with yourself and how you're feeling in the moment. And unfortunately, as children, we're not taught that. Hopefully, the education system is evolving and those skills are being taught to children and how to meet their emotional needs and support them and teach them how to meet their own emotional needs. But the Earth Angel Collective is learning that right now, how to meet your own emotional needs. A lot of us grew up in family dynamics where they may have been able to provide for us a roof over your head, clothes on your back. They may have parents or caregivers may have been able to provide like the basics for you because maybe there's a lot of single moms, a lot of broken homes, a lot of divorce, a lot of the breakup of the family dynamic, that the parents or the caregivers that we had weren't able to meet our emotional needs. And for Earth Angels, our emotional needs are just as important as our physical needs. And so this is where we're going deeper within to find that inner peace, to meet our own emotional needs. And what that is it's love, it's support, it's gentleness, it's compassion, it's meditation, it's sleep, it's getting water, it's just, and it's really time with God, time with nature, time with spirit and the divine, because that's what speaks to us. That's what gives us the divine guidance, the inspiration to take inspired action, to be an earth angel, spiritual leader on this planet. So a lot of you right now are being squeezed, and it's for this stuff to come out so that you can go to deeper levels of inner peace and learn how to navigate the human experience. What is it? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we're here to learn how to navigate that human experience with the knowledge and wisdom of consciousness that we have now at higher levels. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So let's see, what healing message? Let me see here. What healing message do the angels have for you? Raphael, what healing message do you have for the collective this week, March 7th, 1st to the 7th? I'm also getting communication. Be very thorough in your communications with people. When we get overwhelmed or when there's a lot going on, it's easy to misread something, or it's easy to try not to race through things this week. Again, because we have the intensity of the last week, I think Mercury retrograde, it starts to go direct March 9th, I believe. So this week we're feeling the intensity of it. It's like, like I said, the pull, it's got this illusion that it's going backwards. And so as the planets align, there's like this energy of it starting to go direct, right? And so that's what's happening this week. It's like the slowdown. And so that's why I feel the energy of overwhelm. It could be like chaos, disorder, disarray. So really be present in your communications with people. There could be miscommunications. There could be time mess ups. Dot your I's, cross your T's, give yourself extra time. This is all basic Mercury retrograde stuff, but it's worth reminding. There we go. Manifestation. So you're manifesting the energy that's happening inside. Some of you could want to be mindful of what you're manifesting. Like I said, communicate thoroughly. Dot your I's, cross your T's. If you need to get anywhere, take some extra time to get there. If you've got to sit in your car and wait a few minutes, that's great. Let me sit with this for a moment. Manifestation. This is a week for you to be mindful of what you're manifesting. Patterns, cycles, belief systems. I'm getting to be careful or be mindful of how you're shoulding on other people. Projecting, meaning like, well, they should, or they need to, or like it almost feels like the victim energy. Like, it's like shoulding. Don't should on people. It's like comparing to the perfect person. Right? The perfect mother, the perfect child, the perfect intuitive, the perfect business owner, the perfect entrepreneur. I feel like your guides are reminding you this week, be careful what you're manifesting. If you're setting your own standards so high and you're feeling like other people are keeping you from whatever you want to accomplish, be mindful of that. Know that everything that happens on the outside in the 3D world is a direct reflection of what's happening on the inside. So I feel like this is a week of contemplation, reflection, observation. Be very aware of what you're manifesting, what continues to show up in your life this week, good, bad, or indifferent. We say it's just experience. Some experiences are more challenging than others. I really would like you to stay away from the judgment, the expectation, forcing anything. And really sit with how you want to feel. Manifestation, law of attraction. So another thing I want to reiterate is these aren't messages to tell you that you're doing more things wrong. Sometimes it's almost like, well, I'm never going to get this. Here it is again. I'm so frustrated. This would be an opportunity for you this week to be with frustration, to lean into the uncomfortable and remind you that you're not going to break. You're not going to break. And being able to transform the energy of fear or overwhelm or anxiousness into like it feels like letting it revitalize your system and fuel you into passion. I had an experience this week where I got I went into fear mode. Like I was getting overwhelmed and I went into fear mode and I hadn't felt that way for a while. And so it came up and I was like, whoa, here it is again. And so I was able to explore it because there was a part of me that reminded myself, girl, you got this. It's one step at a time. Here it is. You've been asking for this. And for me, of course, I'm like, oh, it's all happening at once and it's overwhelming. And I had to feel that. And I paused and I pulled back. And for a moment there, I got excited. Like, wow, I've been here before. And so I'm going to transform this fear and this overwhelm into passion. I'm going to let it revitalize my system as opposed to rob or strangle my chi cells. And so I was able to sit with it and breathe through it and saying, okay, this is an opportunity for change. This is what it feels like to be squeezed and challenged. And I have to say, it actually revitalized my system. And then what happens is after that, things started to come into alignment and I started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm like, okay, so some of you may be so caught up in running around have-tos and shoulds that the universe is going to pull a little bit to pull you back to feel it. But I'd love for you to really go into that activation and letting it recharge your system, revitalize. It's almost like an adrenaline rush. And then from there, you can use that energy and chi to create something, to manifest something, to bring something in. So in that moment, I was like, okay, well, what is it that I need? What do I want? And this is something that I've been working towards and I wasn't going to take action on unless I was forced, right? And so here I am. I'm like, okay, now is the time. When we get squeezed or things are like, it's like a forced action, it's time for us to jump in. That's the universe saying, now is the time. I need you to go now. It's like almost like when I'm seeing like NASCAR drivers and like the red light or like the red light, yellow light, and then the green light. And so the universe this week may be hitting the green light. And so it's almost like there's this anticipation right before, right? There's this anxiousness. This is fear, like what happens? And then all of a sudden the light hits green and then you hit the pedal and you go right to the floor and it's almost like revving the engines and everything just takes off. I feel like that's the energy this week. So if you can transform that maybe victim energy or the overwhelm and letting it deplete you, in the moment, you can actually allow those feelings and the emotions to revitalize and energize your body. And then ask yourself, what is it that I do want? How do I want to feel? And then again, give it up to the angels. Trust that Raphael is working on the healing and you've asked for inner peace. And in order to accomplish that or achieve that, things have to change. You can't keep going the way you're going if you're not happy in where you're going. So let me get into crystal angels. Okay, let's see here. Crystal angels. Wow, let's see. Oh, of course. Rose quartz. Love life. New or renewed romantic love is here for you. I think for a lot of you, this is self-love. New different kinds of loves. Like you can love yourself regardless of what's happening. Self-esteem, worth, value. So you may be squeezed this week with matters of the heart. And it's giving you an opportunity to communicate on deeper levels. Communicate with yourself, communicate with God, source, creator of the universe, and then your inner circle, the people around you. I also want to say, remember that when and if you have conversations that revolve matters of the heart, when you can express your emotions, understand that how somebody responds is their own prerogative. So you may not get the response that you want. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier about shoulding on people. Well, they should have this and they should have that. And I needed this and I needed that. Well, if that comes up this week, give it to yourself. Really. I know it's like beating a dead horse. It's such an awful comparison, but I'm telling you, Earth Angels, for eons, we have been denying our own self-worth and value and giving. We're really good givers. And this moment in time, we're really learning how to receive. You know, some people are like, oh, I hate to receive, or I'm better with giving. And again, that's the 8 energy. There has to be flow. We've got to break these patterns and cycles of heroism in doing it all, right? Heroism in taking care of everybody and putting your own needs aside, right? It's basic needs. It's getting your water. It's getting sleep. And we really have to really stop rewarding depletion, right? So we learn in school early on that when you get an A, everybody loves you and you get a pat on the back. If you get a D or an F, what happens? You get disappointment and you get people, well, what did you do wrong? And so a lot of us from our education have been instilled that if I'm accomplishing and I'm doing 4, I'm going to get a pat on the back. But if I'm failing in any way, people are going to be disappointed in me. So we're constantly chasing that energy of approval. And so I feel like a lot of things is like pulling back this week and just accepting what is. Mistakes are opportunities to learn and grow, right? The highest achievers of the world didn't do it by being perfect. They made mistakes and they figured things out and they had financial errors and they just continue to move through it. You know, a lot of Earth Angels haven't been taught those skills of discipline and certainty and showing up in structure and order and receiving. It comes from receiving and taking care of the self. So this goes on deeper levels. And so maybe as we were talking about grounding energies, sitting with some rose quartz this week. Of course, if this makes sense why I pulled out this angel here with the heart, right? Come back to the self. Hold your own hearts this week. Because the heart energy is where you're manifesting. It's in your heart and your physical body. So when you're paying attention to your physical body and it feels squeezed and it feels like it's in pain, you could be putting energy out to create more of that. So again, that's not to get afraid and scared and defeated. It's for you to be able to see it and saying, I can make changes. I can adjust, right? And so what happens is, you know, in order for us to learn something, right, in school, we're tested on it. We're tested on if we're ready to move forward. So some of you might be tested this week, but it's not punishment. It's not to to squeeze you. It's really to saying, okay, we just got to make sure that you've learned this part, right? Again, about receiving and balancing your feelings and your emotions and self-love, which brings you to higher levels of love in partnerships, in friendships, in maybe if you've got clients or patients, you're shifting out of an old vibe into a new. Let's see here. I think that's all I want to say about that. Oh my gosh, look at the bottom of the deck. Calcite, it says busy times and multitasking. And that's what I felt. That's what I felt in the beginning of the week that this week was going to bring. It says, take charge of your schedule during this very busy time and honestly assess your underlying reasons for being busy. Wow. I'm glad I looked at that. So let's just put this out. So sometimes being busy can be a form of escapism. It can be a form of addiction. Remember we were talking about Raphael healing that. Sometimes, you know, a good excuse is, oh, I can't do that because I'm busy. I can't have that conversation right now because I'm busy. Or I've got to work. I need to make money. And what happens is, and we could be jumping into another pool of people right now, another dynamic of the Earth Angel Collective. It could be you have to face that, right? If your body's in pain and you're tired, but you're always going, you know, this could be the week where you just get depleted or you get maxed out, or some of you may get sick, and it's not not a bad thing. It's just an opportunity to take a time out to receive rest, to receive downtime. I think that's something that's very important, because if that slingshot energy, I keep saying that the Mercury retrograde energy is like a pullback, like it's like slingshot, so it pulls back. So once that energy goes direct, once we get out of the post shadow and we get into April, the energy is going to release, and you want to make sure you're going in the direction of your dreams. So again, do you want to continue down the path for another few months of just being busy all the time? If you've got somebody in your life that you need to have a conversation with, but they're out of the house a lot and they're busy, sometimes it's a time to sit down and have a deep conversation with somebody, to just put it all out there, to be vulnerable. Now, like I said earlier, you can't be responsible for how they respond, and you can't bank on the way they'll respond. You may like the response, you may not, but either way, and you have your own back. I think sometimes for some of you this week, I think the air needs to be cleared. Maybe if you've been hiding your feelings or holding back, this is the week to communicate. Again, retrograde energy is all about communication. So maybe you want to sit down and maybe write down how you feel and what you want to say, how you want to express yourself. This is a great time, I think, to clear the air. But like I said, you might not get the response that you want. Give it time, give it space. Let the other person, let it marinate a little bit. Maybe you need to have a come to Jesus session with Jesus and God. Maybe it's just sitting down and saying, God, I feel hurt, I feel scared, I can't do this alone. There are a lot of things in the human experience that is way beyond human capabilities. There are a lot of things that happen to us that we have experiences in that only God can move us through. And so this week, I think your faith is going to be strengthened. I feel like, again, going back to the angels, giving your cares and worries, I think that deepens your ability to have a deeper level of inner peace. Like, with or without you, with or without, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm whole and complete, I'm aligned, I'm feeling good. And this does not mean casting people out of your life and banishing people. It's asking, like, well, what can I learn from this person, or what am I learning from this situation? Being curious about it, will enhance your relationships and your levels of love. Wow, I'm glad that came out. All right, so let's finish up here. A final prayer. Overall, I'm going to connect with the heart of the divine angel energy. What is final message, overall prayer for the collective this week, March 1st through the 7th, or whenever they're guided to watch? There's two here. Okay. Let's see. Earth Angel. Thank you, angels, for inspiring me to be more like you. Oh, friends, you're healing. You're healing this week. You're being squeezed, but it's squeezing the good stuff out of you. Like, I just see an orange, right? You might be squeezed this week, but remember, when you squeeze an orange, you get really good stuff that will revitalize your body. So transform that energy week into adrenaline, into nourishment for your body. And call on the angels. I love this. Look at this beautiful energy here. We have a mission here on this planet, is to bring love. But it's not going to come in the way where we're doing it for others, where we're fixing, saving, we're telling everybody what to do and what they need to do. We're here to hold space and allow them to come into it on their own, to allow them to grow into it. We can comfort people, we can support them, we can teach them, we can inspire them by living our best life. So remember, creator energy is at an all-time high right now. Those seeds that you were born with, those projects, those sharing of information and content, those things that you're going to create to help the world that you're in is going to be activated, right? So we got to have really great coping skills. We've got to have really great discipline, or that word's hard for you, more structure and order, spiritual maintenance, routine. We have to have it. And I know Earth Angels are rebellious. We rebel against the system, right? We rebel against rules. We want to be free spirits. But when we're too far on the other end, nothing gets done and we get lost in process. So the angels this week will help you clear all that stuff out. I love that. All right. And then the final message. Oh my gosh. Manifesting miracles. So Raphael is the angel of miracles. We have manifesting here, and then we have manifesting miracles with Archangel Orion. Thank you, Orion, for manifesting your miracles in my world. So let me grab the book here. I want to get some more information about him. My God, you can't pull cards that are such a perfect match. I'm sorry, I'm just taking, the human part of me is just having a moment. Thanks for letting me have my moment. Let's see. So Archangel Orion, for those of you who resonate with him, he's one of the newer archangels offering their support to heaven. He helps us connect to all that is and reminds us that we are one with everyone and everything in the entire universe. An angel of the cosmos, his energy reminds us of wishing on a star. And here come the sirens with Archangel Michael, right? We couldn't have a beautiful reading like this without the Archangel Michael present. So Orion is the angel of the cosmos. His energy reminds us of wishing on a star as he helps us create the most magnificent events in our lives. In order to invoke Orion's energy, visualize yourself surrounded by stars and know that you're connected to the whole universe. Wow, this is such a beautiful message. So Orion is going to assist with the Archangel Raphael, who is the angel of miracles, to assist you in manifesting energy that's beyond anything you've ever experienced. Higher love, financial security or financial freedom, revitalizing healthy bodies, content and creating. So like I said, this is the week to just purge, get it out of your system, release. You're on this precipice, that's the right word, of manifesting more. So do you want to manifest the same old? Or do you want to take a leap of faith, right? Some of you are being asked to jump into the unknown, to jump into experiences that you've never had before, to experience things in different ways. And there might be some resistance to it because it's unfamiliar. We're charting... we're going into uncharted territories, and into the abyss. And so I feel like these powerful angels this week, these powerful messages came in to say, this is what you're going through. You're getting to this, you're clearing out all your earthly stuff, and you're learning to manage things in different ways. So be mindful of how busyness is keeping you from the real work, is keeping you from being emotionally available, for being open to receive higher levels of love. One of my mantras is more money, less work. Not because, I don't want to work and I'm lazy. It's because I really want to enjoy a balanced lifestyle. So I'm learning how to create income in many different facets of my life, which will allow me more freedom to laugh and play and sing and dance. And that's the true balance, right? We're living in now a creator energy. We're creating from an infinite place to acquire wealth. Wealth is like a byproduct from that. And so a lot of us are moving into those new ways. So again, job stuff might come up this week, health stuff, physical body stuff, relationship stuff, all that all those human experiences, just so it can be cleared out and shifted. Wow. All right, friends. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me close space by thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance. I'm going to ask that any healing that was started through these messages continue for as long as it needs to be done. All right, friends. So I just have an announcement. I am going to be facilitating here in Warwick, Rhode Island, a group past life regression meditation. So if you're curious about your past lives, maybe who you were, or maybe there are situations and experiences or blocks this week that have come up and you think it might be coming from a past life in some way, on March 26th, it's a Thursday, I'm going to be offering a group past life regression. I trained with Brian Weiss and his wife in New York in past life regression therapy, and they gave us a meditation that we could use for groups. So it's a powerful experience. It's not a big financial commitment. If it's something that you want to explore and you want to try, it'll be $40 a person, and I will link the information or the registration. If you're local here in Rhode Island, I will link the information if you want to sign up, if that's something that you want to do. So thank you so much for watching. Your time is valuable, and I appreciate you spending your time with me and sharing me with your family and friends. It's very humbling and very inspiring and exciting in a lot of ways for me too. So thank you so much. I love you. God loves you. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.